Well, after a long hard day at work, I guess it's finally time to sit down, relax, and draw some of my favorite Well, shit. Well, since I can't draw, I guess I'll just play my favorite video game, Sonic the Hedgehog. The fuck?
Sonic the Hedgehog! The gaming icon that can't seem to stick to a consistent 3D formula. Sonic from the Switch to 2D to 3D had a very rough start with games like 3D Blast and Sonic Jam, before finally getting a stable gameplay style in Sonic Adventure. This formula would be used in each 3D Sonic game, before Sonic 06 showed us how flawed the formula actually was. Due to this, the 3D Sonic formula had a rework into what is known as the Boost formula, and is now what is used in the latest games. What this video is going to do is compare the two styles to see what works and what doesn't, to determine which Sonic formula is looked upon as the better of the two. With that out of the way, let's jump right into it. With the 2D classic games, Sonic had a tight control and was very momentum based, making it so you had to build up your speed to get across things like hills and loops. The adventure formula still has you build up speed, but there's no real point, as things like loops are in scripted sequences, taking control away from the player. In the classic games, going around a loop felt satisfying, as you built up the momentum to make it all the way through. All you get in Sonic Adventure is a visual that barely lasts a second. What satisfaction do I get from it? However, when control is given to the player, it feels a little sensitive. Any tilt from the left analog stick and Sonic will take a hard dash in that direction. It's not too noticeable after a while, and it does have the classic feel to it, even this run kinda reminds me of his 2D sprite. Wait, no, I mean this one. Wait, isn't that from Mania? Sonic Unleashed takes a different approach, as running is all you do. Sonic feels like he's on rails, giving you little freedom on what you can and can't do. You're mostly holding down the X button and casually jumping. It takes a super linear approach, and there's no real bonus for exploring, but this might be due to the other half of the game. Oh shit, I died. Later games will break this consistent movement with a 2D section, but in Unleashed you're given almost no control. The most you'll feel like you're in control is during the quick step sections, and even then you're very limited. Sonic also feels a little tanky when going to the left or to the right. So if we're talking about what feels more classic, then the adventure formula has that style, but in terms of what feel like how Sonic would move, I would have to say the Boost formula, as moving at a fast speed would give you less control. What is also to keep in mind is if the level design complements the control scheme, which brings me to my next point. Now you may be saying, Tom, how does the level design have anything to do with comparing the Sonic formulas? Well, there's a lot actually. You see, with the new gameplay style comes a new level design, and that level design needs to complement that gameplay style, or else the game wouldn't be a good game. When speaking about the design of a level, there's a factor that needs to be taken into consideration, and that's, does the level allow the usage of new gameplay mechanics? Adventure does this by the abundance of enemies and placement of ring trails. The enemies allow the ability to get used to Sonic's new homing attack, and the trails ring give direction on where to go, as levels can become more complicated as you move along. If you take time to explore the level, you'll be rewarded with things like extra lives or rings. Where the design starts to lack is the amount of speed boosters. They are put in parts that feel unnecessary, as making the sense of speed feel unrewarding. Unleashed, on the other hand, has a more linear level design. You're mostly continuously moving forward. No real exploration is to be had. The most you'll be doing is jumping on the right time to get a stun or move medal, making the sense of looking around feeling pointless. This isn't a bad thing, as Sonic's new boost has him moving forward a lot, so stopping to look around wouldn't make sense to begin with. What's bullshit is being hit at with things you can't even see because you're moving at the goddamn speed of light. Shit! Moving fast makes it so you can't react to things fast enough, and it actively annoys me. Why give me more speed if you're gonna punish me for it? Why must you be so cruel, Sonic? Speaking of speed, what's a Sonic game without speed? Besides that. And that. Alright, now you're just fucking with me. Sonic is labeled as the fastest thing alive, and it shows within his classic games. There are many times where speed is justified, and you'll be blazing through a level. Sonic Adventure doesn't get to that speed for the most part. Sonic's top speeds always stay in this kind of light run, unless you spin dash or go into a scripted area with speed boosters. Unleashed, on the other hand, whoa, holy shit, you're going fast, what the fuck? Ah! Sonic is probably his fastest in this game. Later games down the line will dial down the speed, while still giving you the feeling of blazing through a level. However, here, it's a bit overkill. I'm finishing levels in a pretty fast time. Sonic here also feels a bit more energetic. Sonic will say things like, GO! And it gives that sense of speed a bit more of a hit. Sonic Adventure makes you feel like you're strolling through a park on a sunny day. The question isn't whether or not what is faster, the question is, does this work for Sonic? With the adventure formula, Sonic feels like his roots has been brought into 3D, and everything that was classic is here. Now you got platforming, you got the rings, you got the springs, they can all be yours for the low, low price of your will to live. boost formula doesn't have that classic feel. It's mostly just you holding down a button to run at a million miles per hour, with the occasional homing attack chain. There's not many loops and places to go. Even with the scripted sections, you're building up speed in the adventure games. It felt earned and felt good. At least doesn't make you feel like you earned jack shit! Too long to read, Adventure allows you to earn speed while at least just lets you hold down a button. When talking about what works with Sonic as a character, that can be your opinion. However, if I were to share my stance, I feel the adventure formula works a little bit more. It feels like Sonic. You're not going at top speeds, you feel like you're in control, and it feels like what Sonic used to be. What does my opinion mean anyway? Let's make a poll on fucking Twitter and see what people think. And it seems like people like the boost formula. Just don't read the fine print.